My story is coming from the heart this very moment as the gift that you've all given me in each of your stories. So let me start here. Once upon a moment, in the spiral of mind, there was a story that slipped out of time, revolving on being in this we did trust, until we tripped, now stuck in the fuss, making meaning of what we're not really sure, grasping a light more deeply pure. Cooed our friends, two birds assured, this is how our regenerative mythos was heard. The beginning or end, we're not really sure. Before I get too deep in the weeds on this story, I do have to make mention of a few characters that you may engage. Of course, there'll be the tree of life and two birds. And as usual, there'll be a snake. Pay attention. I'm going to take you full circle in a story that's mine. I call it story living. It's taken me out of time. It's given me the opportunity to backcast and anticipate the future we also desire. And how did we do that? How do we come to be? To remind us of this story that floats between you and me, you and me, and you and me. That story of two birds, my friends. They follow me. They echo what comes forth. They bring the story back around once again to be heard. Look out! Squawked the first bird. Look in, cooed the second. And with that, the tree of life opened its leaves, its pages to me. And here's what the story came out to be. Do you remember when you were a child and you played the game telephone and you whispered from one ear to the next? Do you remember that? You remember that story? That game that we played and how it would go from one ear to the next, and we'd giggle along the way, and the story would change, but we're not really sure how and which way. Do you remember that game we used to play? Let me tell you what happened in that original story that came to be. When that story went around and was heard from ear to ear, as if through generation to generation, throughout time, no beginning or end. And when it came back, this story whispered from ear to ear, from whence it came, said, what has this you heard? This crazy story of separation. What is this? Where do you think that's going to take you? That's not what I said. Divide and conquer? No. Let me tell you once more. Divine and conquer, you sillies. This is what you need to have heard to remind you of Ouroboros, that snake that bites his tail, that regenerates the story to be heard. Thank you for sharing yours from my heart.